All right, we're going to start our next project, and the next project is going to be creative fonts. So the word font is like the word the font New Times Roman or something like that. So there's fonts that are on just regular typing apps like Word or Google Docs, but they're also the creation of fonts is an art form. So we're going to create a font. And I have this slideshow, and you have the slideshow as well in your assignment. So you can look through this, and we're going to talk about how to create a font and what your expectations are for this project. All right, this is something that I made for my little boy when he was born for his room. It's really big, and it's on two really large pieces of paper. So I put them together, and his name is Casher, and I made him these dinosaur fonts. So I found a font of dinosaurs that I liked, and yes, I kind of copied the concepts of it because I wasn't doing it for an assignment. And I wasn't doing it to sell. I was just doing it to put on the wall. So I did not create the way this dinosaur is standing on my own. What I'm expecting you to do is to create your own font. Now, as you create your font, if you said, I love the way that this one has these hash marks around it, that can be part of your style of your font as long as you're not drawing a letter that is exactly like this with the hash marks around it. So all of these are here for you for your inspiration. A lot of them were monsters. Halloween's coming up. I thought maybe you might want to make a word that is like a Halloween theme, so you can use it as decorations. You can do it completely just for you. You can make a cute one to go on a wall like this. If you have a sweet little nephew or a brother or sister or something like that that you want to make one for. So it's completely up to you what style you pick and how you make it. I just want to talk you through things that are very important in this. Your letters definitely need to be formed so you can read it. We would like to know what the words are. Some of these are a little awkward, but if you saw them in a sentence, you probably could read the word. Um, Here are some, and some of my images are fuzzy because I stole them off the internet. So if they're fuzzy, I'm sorry. So if you were doing an E, you could use this shape of an E with the idea that you're going to put a face right there. But then you could completely come up with a different face, and maybe it doesn't have spikes, and you make it your own. So all of these are here to help you come up with your font. I thought this one was interesting. It is a all of the like Pepe Le Pew and Marvin Martian and all of the Warner Brother, I think is who it is, characters. So they did the whole alphabet. I'm not asking you to do the whole alphabet. I am asking you to do a. You need to have a word that has at least four different letters. So, could you do the word look? Has four letters, but no, because the O is in there twice. You could not do the word look because that is only three letters that you would have to create. So you have to create four letters. You have to have a theme. So they all have to go together, and you have to have a theme, and you have to be able to read the letters. So here is are some that are made out of little people. These are monsters with strange little hanging eyeballs. These are very simple, kind of wanting a little more than that, but I thought you might be able to use some of this as inspiration as you work towards a little bit stronger fonts than these. These are really neat. Um, so if you liked the way that this P has this little that has this guy in it, maybe you could use that a different letter but use that same concept. Like you could have an I and have a skeleton in it. And if you did that, it would completely be your own design. It would not be copying somebody else's. These were really cool and creative, and I like the artistic elements of them and the style that they were done in. I thought these were really neat. These are really fuzzy, but you can still see some concepts in there. The way that this is a monster with three eyes in the middle with his hands going up in the air. So you can see a little on this. It's just a little fuzzy. These are fuzzy too, but they're completely, I mean, it's just different style to look at. The way that this X has the little guy upside down. So you might get something out of them, even if they're a little fuzzy and strange in the image quality. Um, so we're just looking through. You have access to all of these. Use what you have to get your inspiration. I thought this was a cute and creative style of font, all very readable, and the letters are very blocky and much like a regular letter. But to me, like if you were doing a D and you use that, I would not be really impressed with your creativity. But as a whole, they're cool. These are too simple, just so you know. There was some cool concepts that I used these just because they had maybe something you might get from it, like having the teeth inside of the opening or something like that, but not necessarily this simple of a font. Here is different. This is animals. A lot of the ones I found were monsters, and I don't know if it's just because it's close to Halloween, but you're more than welcome to do all your research. Look up if you have an idea like sea animals and you look up a font of sea animals or the alphabet in sea animals, then do that. Um, but don't copy them. Exactly. You need to do your own versions. So here are some more animals. These were the dinosaurs that I looked at. So if you look right here, you can see the H that was in my son Casher's name. And I used the C, like instead of that C, I used parts of and changed it so it was more like the G. Here was I did a red R, but it was very similar. But I changed things. It's not exactly the same because I didn't want to copy exactly. This I looked up coloring letters with dinosaurs, and I got some things, and I thought that they might be good ideas. So you can look up coloring letters with um, different things. Maybe you say butterflies or a different theme. Um, I put these on here just so you can look at the basic shape of the letters as you're drawing them. So there's different fonts this way that are just simple and plain. So there's different ones. You also can look up your own versions of this too. You don't have to use these. So that is what I have for you. First day, you're going to come up with your word and you're going to kind of come up with your theme and do quick rough sketches of what kind of you have in mind for this. Second day, we're going to draw it out. I have very specific. It needs to be at least 3 by 5 inches. You can do them all on one page. If you look at how I had to do my son's name because it was so big and it was the biggest paper that I had, I did his in 2 sets, like they were split right here, and I taped them together at the end. You can do each letter individually on a separate piece of paper. You have 2 options. Um, so we got the second day is going to be um, drawing it out like this, like as nice, pretty fonts and all the details. Then the next day is going to be inking and using your Sharpie and doing your outlines. The next day is going to be you get 2 days to color or watercolor. So these you have the option if you have watercolors and if you have watercolor paper, then you are allowed to use them for this assignment. Don't go out and buy them because you can use colored pencils, which is just as fine. But use your watercolor paper if you're going to plan on watercoloring these. Um, and then we'll turn them in at the end of next week. And this week I'm recording it the weekend before. So that is what we're doing. I hope you understand what we're doing and what my expectations are. I'm really proud of everything you've done so far this year. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.